Namaste, my fellow earthlings. It's I, Osepi, and I'm just sitting here, laying in the grass. And, I just literally just be laying here, and there's this little patch of clovers next to me, and I'm like, let's see, I'm like, oh, great, wow, oh, 4-leaf clover. And then I'm like, whoa, what the frig is this? A 5-leaf clover. Then I'm like, oh, nice, a 4-leaf clover. And then I'm like, whoa, a 5-leaf clover. So yeah, that's cool, I guess. So I feel like right now, my life is feeling like really weird. Like I feel like I'm in like a transition period, and look at these. Like transition is so weird, and it's not like I don't feel like I see it too physically. It's not like a physical transition. Maybe it will be, I don't know, but there's just something very jarring about transition in all the forms it comes in, because it's a dying and also a birthing. So yeah, there's a lot of destruction and a lot of creation happening all at the same time, or in conjunction with each other, and it's just like, wow, you really just get into both ends of the spectrum. But I had just a really strange thought just now, and I just want to share it with you. Hold on, I have to sit you down. I'm not gonna hold you the whole time. You have to do it yourself. Like, basically, like, I was thinking about, like, bear with me. I'm not cutting out these gaps because that's how naturally we speak. We're not supposed to go just all the time, speaking nonstop. How are you going to digest that? You gotta have the pauses to contemplate the words I'm saying. Sorry. What I'm trying to say is like we have this idea sometimes that like we have this karma or just this sin or something. We have to be better, and I think it's great to be better, to grow, but like, here's just a perspective. I'm not saying it's right or anything, but like, it just came to me now that like our actions have consequences, and they stack up, and like, geez, my hair's like such a mess. Our actions have consequences. That's basically karma. Is we are reaping the consequences of our actions every moment. Just being a human is perhaps a consequence of some sort of action, whether it's a personal one you've made or some cosmic action that like God made or something. But basically, we're kind of like, we feel the sense of like separation from God, and first of all, that's, I'm pretty sure, is just an illusion. Like, everything is God, right? It's gotta be. And we could really think about all the reasons that might not be the case. And we also could think so much like what is the case. Stop focusing on the grass. I mean, cool, great. Grass is cool, right? Look at this. Premium. No, wait, we want some flowers in here, right? There we go. So, basically, yeah, we feel the separation from God. We're really in this egoed state where we're really alone, and we're just so alone. And some people feel it more than others. And I think in this time, there is this loneliness epidemic. There's less connections being made, even though our world is more interconnected through the digital space than ever before. The reports show that there's just a whole lot of people feel very lonely. And that in itself is interesting, that's on a rise. But that's not really the point, but it's a detail to consider when thinking about this perspective, that we have, like, yeah, we are we're really under this impression that we're separate from, and that comes from our individuality. Our individuality makes us feel other than the world, but in a deeper sense, God. And the world is God. And, we are in heaven, but we feel separated from it through our individuality, our ego. So I think there's many of us that will say, okay, well, I gotta clean up house and kind of sweep away my ego, so there's nothing left to cognize the separation between me and God, and I'll be one with God again. But it's a little paradoxical, because we're feel separate while we are God and within God and all that. But here's a shift of perspective. Here's hopefully I can express to me, is that perhaps we should take pride in being alone or away from God. Because have you ever spent a lot of time with a person? Has there been a period in your life, or just a day, where you're really just with this one person? Maybe if you ever gotten stuck somewheres, I don't know if I have, but I can imagine being stuck in an elevator with someone, and you're just with that person, and y'all might talk to pass the time and do all sorts of things, but eventually it just becomes whoa. Even maybe more relatable is living with your parents. It's at a certain point you get old enough where it's just I don't know, you've been around them so long. I'm not trying to throw shade on parents, but basically that's what it'd be like. For all of eternity, we've been one with God, and now we have this really possibly unique experience of being separate from Him. He's far out there. And yeah, I get it. It's all a delusion, but why can't we just kind of soak in that illusion? We got this private space in our minds now. We're an individual, and we're all alone, and I feel I hear this sound, this feeling when I say that of oh no, when I say we're alone, you might kind of feel fearful, or that's a bad thing. But why do we see it as a bad thing. Possibly because our natural state is to be one with God, but who's to say this is? It's a sliding scale. It's not dualistic. Things are not dualistic. We are still one with God. It's just we're on the lower spectrum of it. We're so the dial of connection to God will never hit zero, but it's so low that we get this. We're in this illusion that we are separate from Him or her or it, and I'm just really trying to say here, trying to shift the perspective for you to nibble on this thought here, is like taking pride in our loneliness or our separation from God, and just sit with it for a moment. Sit with your separation from everything. Like, I feel like I'm often like very in my head, and so for me it's very easy to feel like I'm like detached and from whatever, and it doesn't feel great naturally, because I think naturally we are meant to be one with God. And yeah, you can hold even in your sense of separation, you can still recognize that, yeah, this is God. It's cool. Like, we're chilling. Like, it's all is love and light, which I don't like that phrase because I think it's been twisted in many ways, but I think it still rings true. It does, but like, why can't we have, like, it sounds really terrible, but like, we're kind of a lot of the time have the sense of fear and darkness instead of love and light, and it's a very unique experience. And I just think a lot of people in a lot of their own ways, I think maybe everyone in their own way is trying to get back to that connection. They're trying to attain more material goods. They're trying to attain a certain spiritual state. They're trying to care or do good in the world, or they're trying to, there's all different kinds of things we try to do. And to get back to that, we're trying to we're in this transitional phase, like, in a greater scale. Like, this, we know this life is temporary, and it's just like, we right now, this whole incarnate experience is like having our head under the water, and it's like, it's all so different. And then you come up for air, and it's like yeah, it's like when you hold your breath, you put your head under the water, and it's this whole other experience. And that's analogously life incarnate. But then you're like, I can't breathe under here, and it's like, oh geez, like, I better not breathe. But the fact of the matter is, you have air in your lungs, or you wouldn't be down here. But then you either drown, or you maybe the drowning is not pertinent to this example, but either way, you die in a sense, by taking your head out of the water, And you see that the breath of life has been with you all along, and now you can breathe it seamlessly without hindrance, But the waters of life, uh, water is life on Earth, and we're mostly water. So, water. It's like life is like, in the state we find it, is like water imbued with spirit, and that's how all life on Earth happens. And so, we're really, we can't breathe right now. We can't take in and receive God in His fullness, I guess. I don't know. And but like he still has imbued his breath into us, that spirit, into the water, and so we are alive through His grace. But yeah. And it's funny, I just realizing that, like, I feel like I'm like actually kind of describing the ritual of baptism a little bit, but I don't know if people really perceive that that's what baptism is, at least on a poetic sense. I don't know, I can't think of the other word. But yeah, so I'll shut up now, and you can go on with your day, maybe think about what I've said. But basically, just what I'm getting at, or what I'd like you to try, your homework is to think about, is like being alone and being separate from God, and seeing it as a blessing and as a unique privilege, rather than a curse and something to get rid of. And look at that. And maybe, yeah, it really does feel very painful sometimes. It can be a miserable experience, but it's really a spectacular gift. And maybe I don't think there's so much stories when you're one with God and so much concepts, but we can tell a little story that perhaps up there in ultimate truth and oneness with God, there's just, we're like, hey, God, like, I'm like you, and I'm like, there's just like no separation between us, and I'm not even a voice to verbalize this thought, really. And so just to visualize like a boundless light while I'm saying this, and I'm like kind of getting sick of, like, this house of you like this, the house of God. I've been in here so for eternity, and I really am starting to not appreciate it, or I just don't really understand. I don't know. What kind of story is this? I don't know. But then God was like, all right, go ahead, you can leave my house. And so we go under the water. He imbues the spirit into the water, and here we are in incarnate in water, and the world, shit, man, that God's household was really cool. I loved that. I just had infinite love all the time. And but now, guess what? We have desire. We have the we have desire to create. We have the desire for destruction and malice and mischief and compassion and all of this. Like, so much has come from this whole this social experiment God is playing right now. And I think that's why art is just really, really awesome. Like, that's the meat for me of this experience, because we get to create and out of our desires, and I guess that's how all this happens. There was a seed of desire for something else, and so we got something else, and we found that, he turned down the dial of connection. Basically, because he's not gonna let go of us. That's the thing. So we say, hey, can we get separated from you right now? And I want to be my own thing. And he's like, okay, but he didn't actually. He just turned down the dial of our perception of connection with him, to the point where we feel an individual, separated being. Which, hey, I literally already I already said this all. So just think about it. Like, I hope this is entertaining. I don't know. I'm just trying to say what I'm thinking. Whether you get anything out of it, I don't know. Think about yourself, and I encourage you to leave a comment. You don't need to subscribe or like. Just leave a comment. Continue my thoughts, and making them create your own thoughts with it. And that's part of this whole experience of being incarnate. We get to think and create ideas of how we get to concoct a worldview, and lenses to view reality from. It's so, like, there's so much. It's so untotalitarian. And the world is trying to make a totalitarian one world government regime, and it's funny, and it's just out of fear, and it's and this feeling of lacking of and separation from God. It's all coming from this loneliness, but it's funny, because, like, it's, in a sense, it's very evil. It feels like, that the ruling class, it's about to get a little political here. The ruling class is, like, trying to make a one world government and just take away our freedom and all that, and in a way, I think they're trying to bring they're through their ego, they're trying to obtain everything, because they want to be one with it all, in a way. And that's spiritually, that's not how you do it, I don't think. But they're free to create that, and they are creating that, and we are in this place where we can not have this totalitarian thing, because up in the heavens, which this is heaven, so I don't like saying that, but, like, when we're really truly one with God, it is totalitarian in a sense. There's just God, and that's all. And I don't what that really looks like. I don't think we have the capacity to really cognize, but we get to cognize all sorts of things and concepts of what that would be like. But now there's forces in the world through the oppression of freedom are trying to bring back that, but in a twisted sense. They're trying to bring, I don't know, like, they're trying to, what are they trying to do? I really should maybe finish my thought, so I'm laying it out, but I really gotta digress here. because it's your turn to have a thought and create concepts of what reality is and all that. To do it in the comments below. Not to be seen by others, because you're alone, bitch. But you know, and that's another thing. We get to create connections with people, but they are so hard when you really start to form a deep connection with another. It's hard. Even like my dog, like the more I connect with him when he's gone, the more separation I'm going to feel with him. So I could neglect him and just throw him in a closet, which I wouldn't, and just be like, yeah, I have a dog, and just have no kind of emotional or intellectual connection with him. But instead, I foster a connection with him, and by doing so, when he dies, I feel even more separated from him. It's fucking crazy, bro. Think about this whole stuff and like really step back and look at what I'm saying. And yeah, but it's all really, it's art. That's why I see it as art, everything as art, because the separation, the death and the despair, it becomes sweeter and more poetic because we don't get to experience that up in the oneness with the boundless ocean of love. So yeah, I think I was saying something about commenting, but yeah, just do it as a expression, for your own to create. We're God gave us a way and put us unto the world, but we also get to give away through our creation and through for me it's art. We get to express. I'm expressing these words. I'm giving them away. I can't put them back in my mouth once I put them out there, and that is a really interesting thing that we have. That's an interesting capacity we have. So use it before it's illegal, because it will never be illegal. But they can try to take it away and really put us under the delusion. Another delusion. We're under so much delusion, we can create delusions. And maybe I'm delusional, and maybe all that I'm saying is delusional. And so many people have written holy books full of their delusions of how life is, and it really crafts a worldview for you, and you can craft your own worldview, and that is freedom, man, and it's really a spectacular thing. So, and I've used my freedom today to make all these thoughts for you and for me, and good night. Peace out.